Have you ever tried to read the Bible, but got confused or bored, so you stopped? Or maybe you're curious about the Bible, but you were too intimidated to open it up. Maybe you've been to church and they started talking about Moses or 2 Kings or the epistles, and you had no idea what they were talking about, but you were too embarrassed to ask someone about it. This course is for you. The Bible, it's the most influential book in history. It's been shaping culture, morality, and society around the world for over 3 millennia. It's the best-selling book of all time. There are about as many copies of the Bible in circulation as there are people on the planet. It's considered sacred by at least 3 major world religions. And there are millions of people who will tell you this book has changed their life, so much so that they read it every single day. If you ask a Christian, they'll tell you the reason that it's so powerful is because when they read it, they hear the voice of God. Even if you don't believe that, it's still important enough that if you want to understand our world and the people around us, it's worth being familiar with. I don't know why you're curious about this book, but I know that if you're like most people, the first time you open it up, it can be intimidating and confusing, and it might not be what you expect. And that's why we're here to help. This course is designed for people who are completely new to the Bible. It's aimed at people who have either never opened it up or have tried but gave up because it was hard. It's also for people who've been around the Bible in church, but no one ever explained things to you. So you've got questions, but you're embarrassed to ask because you feel like you're supposed to know. That's not a problem here. In this course, we don't assume you know anything about the Bible, and we'll explain it all from the start. By the end of the course, you'll have a basic understanding of what the Bible is, how it's organized, and a basic method for figuring out what a passage means. That way, you can go to church or join a community group or read it for yourself and start to experience what so many people around the world and across time have. This book will change your life. Here's how the course works. You can either do it with a group or on your own. If you're doing this with a group of people, there are points where I'll ask you a question or set up an activity. You should pause and discuss the question or do the activity as a group. If you're doing it on your own, I recommend writing down your answers, not just thinking about them. And you should definitely not skip the activities. The most important learning is not going to come from listening to me talk, but by interacting with the Bible yourself. As you might have guessed, you're going to need a Bible for this class. Many of these activities are going to work best if you have a physical Bible with you, not just a digital copy. If you don't have a physical Bible, we have our recommended study Bible for sale at a steeply discounted rate at our church bookstore, which you can also find at our website, ccclife.org. If you have a Bible, you're going to want to make sure it's a modern translation of the Bible. We'll be talking more about translations later in this course, but the translation we use around here is called the NIV, or the New International Version. There are other great options, but that's the one you'll hear in the services at our church, as well as in this course. One common translation that I would steer you away from for this course is the King James Version, or the KJV. If you've got a Bible with a lot of these and thous in it, that's the one we're talking about. There's a lot to love about the King James, but if you're new to the Bible, it's only going to make it more difficult to figure out. Along the way, you may have questions. Feel free to reach out to us at the email address on your screen. Are you ready to jump into session 1? It answers the question, what is the Bible?